Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that's frankly a bit of a downer. We're talking about journalism in Africa, and, well, to put it lightly, it can be life-threatening. Today we're honoring the memories of journalists who paid the ultimate price for doing their jobs. These journalists were shining lights in the dark, exposing corruption and holding the powerful accountable. Over the next few minutes, we're going to remember them as passionate individuals who believed in the power of truth. We're going to talk about the dangers they faced, the sacrifices they made, and ask ourselves some tough questions about what needs to change. So, buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy, emotionally heavy ride. Let's get started. Dele Giwa. Remember that name. He was a giant in Nigerian journalism, the founder and editor-in-chief of Newswatch magazine. Giwa was known for his hard-hitting investigative reporting, taking on corruption and government misconduct. In Nigeria in the 1980s, journalism was particularly dicey. Imagine a government that's less than fond of transparency and even less fond of criticism, but Giwa didn't back down. Then in 1986 it happened. A letter bomb arrived at Giwa's home in Lagos. The bomb detonated, killing Giwa in a horrific act of violence. The shockwaves from his murder reverberated throughout Nigeria and the world. Many believe his assassination was directly linked to his critical journalism, a chilling reminder of the risks journalists face in their pursuit of truth. Giwa's story is a testament to the courage of journalists who refused to be silenced. He paid the ultimate price for his unwavering commitment to truth. Our next story takes us to Burkina Faso, where Norbert Zongo, editor of the newspaper, was making a name for himself as a fearless investigative journalist. Zongo was relentless in his pursuit of justice, much to the chagrin of those in power. Zongo's investigations often put him in the crosshairs of powerful individuals who wanted to maintain their grip on power. Then, in 1998, disaster struck. Zongo and 3 companions were found dead inside a burnt-out car. The brutality of the murders sent shockwaves throughout Burkina Faso and beyond, sparking outrage and demands for justice. Investigations into Zongo's death quickly pointed to foul play, with suspicion falling on those who had much to lose from his investigations. Zongo had been working on a particularly sensitive case involving the death of a driver who worked for the brother of Burkina Faso's president at the time. Despite mounting pressure, the case dragged on, with many believing that those responsible for Zongo's death were being shielded from justice. Norbert Zongo's murder remains a chilling reminder of the dangers faced by journalists who dare to speak truth to power. His legacy lives on, inspiring a new generation of journalists to continue his fight for accountability and transparency. Zongo's courage and determination continue to inspire. Now let's turn our attention to Ghana, where we meet Ahmed Hussein Suelo, a man who dedicated his life to exposing the underbelly of corruption. Hussein Suelo was part of Tiger Eye Private Investigations, a team known for their undercover sting operations, led by the renowned journalist Anas Arameyaw Anas. Their work was groundbreaking, exposing corruption in all its ugly forms. They targeted everyone from crooked politicians to corrupt officials, using hidden cameras and clever tactics to catch them red-handed. Their exposés sent shockwaves through Ghanaian society, leading to arrests, resignations, and a much-needed dose of accountability. In 2019, Hussein Suelo was tragically gunned down in Accra, Ghana. He was shot and killed by unknown assailants, and the motive, well, it's not exactly a mystery. His death was widely linked to his journalistic work, a chilling reminder of the risks investigative journalists face. The Tiger Eye team, despite the risks, vowed to continue their work, honoring Hussein Suelo's legacy by shining a light on corruption, no matter the cost. Ahmed Hussein Suelo's story is a stark reminder that the fight for justice and accountability can be a dangerous game, but it's also a testament to the courage of those who refuse to be silenced. Our journey takes us next to the Gambia, where Dada Hidara, a veteran journalist and co-founder of newspaper, fearlessly challenged the oppressive regime of President Yahya Jammeh. Haidara was determined to hold those in power accountable and ensure that the truth reached the Gambian people. He used his platform to expose corruption, human rights abuses, and the stifling of dissent under Jammeh's iron-fisted rule. Haidara's work made him a target. Jammeh, known for his intolerance of criticism and his brutal crackdown on dissent, saw Haidara as a threat to his authority. Threats and intimidation became a regular part of Haidara's life, but he refused to be silenced. Then, in 2004, tragedy struck. Haidara was driving home when he was shot and killed by unknown assailants. His death sent shockwaves throughout the Gambia and the international community. Despite numerous investigations and international pressure, Haidara's murder remains unsolved. Dada Haidara's story is a stark reminder of the dangers faced by journalists who dare to challenge authoritarian regimes. His legacy lives on, inspiring Gambian journalists to continue the fight for freedom of the press. Our next stop takes us to Mozambique, where we encounter Carlos Cardoso, an investigative journalist who fearlessly took on corruption and financial scandals. Cardoso was a thorn in the side of those who sought to profit at the expense of the Mozambican people. He was particularly known for his investigations into the murky world of banking and finance, where he exposed shady dealings and high-level corruption. Cardoso's work struck a nerve. Those who benefited from the corrupt system felt threatened by his investigations, and they weren't afraid to use intimidation and violence to silence him. In 2000, Cardoso was assassinated while investigating a major banking fraud. He was gunned down in a brazen attack that sent shockwaves throughout Mozambique and the international community. The investigation into Cardoso's murder was long and arduous, marked by delays and attempts to obstruct justice. However, after years of tireless efforts by investigators, prosecutors, and Cardoso's family, several individuals were convicted for their roles in his assassination. Carlos Cardoso's story is a reminder that while justice may be delayed, it can be achieved. His legacy lives on, inspiring a new generation of journalists to continue his fight against corruption. Our final stop takes us back to Nigeria, where we remember Godwin Agbroko, a renowned columnist and editorial board chairman of newspaper. Agbroko was a man of unwavering integrity, known for his fearless criticism of political corruption and mismanagement. He used his platform to give a voice to the voiceless, to challenge those in power, and to demand better for the Nigerian people. Agbroko's work often put him at odds with powerful individuals who were used to operating in the shadows, beyond the reach of accountability. In 2006, Agbroko was found shot dead in his car in Lagos. The circumstances surrounding his death were shrouded in mystery, but many believe that his murder was linked to his journalism. Agbroko's death sent shockwaves through the Nigerian media landscape. His murder sparked outrage and demands for justice, but like many cases involving violence against journalists in Nigeria, Agbroko's case remains unsolved. Godwin Agbroko's story is a tragic reminder of the dangers faced by journalists in Nigeria and the urgent need for greater protection and accountability. His legacy lives on, inspiring a new generation of journalists to continue his fight for a more just and equitable Nigeria. Agbroko's courage and dedication continue to inspire. So, there you have it. 6 journalists, 6 lives cut short, 6 stark reminders of the dangers inherent in pursuing truth and accountability. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to throw our hands up and say, what's the point? But that's precisely what those who seek to silence journalists want us to do, to give in to despair. But we can't. The legacy of Dele Giwa, Norbert Zongo, Ahmed Hussein Swahili, Dada Haidara, Carlos Cardoso, and Godwin Agbroko demands more from us. So what can we do? We can support organizations that are fighting for the protection of journalists and freedom of the press in Africa and around the world. We can pressure governments to investigate and prosecute crimes against journalists, to create an environment where they can do their jobs without fear of reprisal. And you know what? We can all play a part by simply valuing and defending the truth, because ultimately that's what these journalists fought for. The right to speak truth to power, to hold those in power accountable, and to create a more just and equitable world. So let's honor their memory by continuing their fight. Let's make sure that their sacrifices were not in vain. The solution to protecting journalists and promoting fair journalism in Africa is multifaceted. We need a multi-pronged approach that includes enacting and enforcing stronger laws that protect journalists and ensure their safety, promoting a culture of transparency and accountability within governments, and empowering independent media outlets while fostering media literacy among the population. What are your thoughts on this issue? How can we better protect journalists and promote press freedom in Africa and beyond? Share your opinions and ideas in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share. Peace.